Hello everyone, welcome back. My name's Adriana. I'm a knitter on the east coast of Canada, and today I want to share my spring knitting plans with you all. Before I share my list, I'll share what I'm wearing. This is my Arctic Light sweater by Veronica Lindberg. I made this holding 2 strands of yarn together. The main yarn was Briggs & Little Regal in the color 3 bleached white. It's a 100% wool yarn, and I held that with Drops Kid Silk Mohair in the color number 1 white, and it created this. I still really love this. I finished this only a couple months ago, and I still really love it. Every time I put it on, I'm like, it fits so perfectly, and it feels really nice. It looks good. I couldn't be happier with it. The weather is still cold enough to wear this sweater out, but it won't be much longer before I'm just gonna be real sweaty in it. So I'm wearing this as much as possible in the last few weeks before the weather really warms up, and I'm really loving it. Spring knitting plans. I tried to keep this list as realistic as possible, thinking about a 3-month time frame and like reasonably what I can actually get done in those 3 months. I chose patterns that either I already have the yarn for and have been planning like for a while to knit these things, or patterns that I don't have the yarn for yet, or maybe I'll just have to like look at what I have and see if something will work. But patterns that I don't necessarily have yarn in my mind that I know I'm going to use yet, but I'm really interested in the pattern and want to try it, like things that I want to cast on right now. I'll go in order of like most likely to actually happen. So first up, let's talk about the Cinema sweater. The Cinema sweater is a pattern by Veronica Lindberg. She describes it as a really basic and oversized sweater that's relaxing to both knit and wear. The last couple sweaters I've knit have been not very mindless. Like this one had obviously like a lot going on with the cables and stuff. And the one I'm working on right now is all in, like it's a ribbed pattern. So I know it's just ribbing, but it's different. Well, it's twisted ribbing, so that's a little bit different. So the next sweater, I knew the next sweater that I wanted to make, I knew that I wanted it to be very simple. I don't have just a plain stockinette knit sweater, and I wanted something that would just be very comfortable, easy to knit, and something that I could wear like very casually. Both of these sweaters, this one and then the other one, I'm almost finished it. Those ones are more, I feel like fancier sweaters that I wouldn't just like wear lounging around, I guess. And I wanted a sweater that I could do that with, just like hang out with my family, play with my kids, and, you know, not worry too much about it. I came across, well, first of all, I'll say I really loved knitting from Veronica Lindberg, the Arctic Light sweater. That made me want to try another one of her patterns. Something I really liked about the Arctic Light sweater is that she had video tutorials for the different parts of the pattern. And I saw that she also has a video tutorial for the Cinema sweater. I'm still like pretty novice in the sweater knitting sphere. So I appreciate having some extra hand holding with my sweater projects. And yeah, I'm really feeling confident going into this pattern. I haven't started it or anything, but I'm planning to do that. I have the yarn for it. Drops Flora in color 07. I don't remember what the name of the color is, but the number is 7. And then to go with it, I have Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk, color number 5. And the reason why I chose these two together is because in one of the samples that Veronica has in her like pattern photos for the cinema sweater, she has a sample of the sweater knit with a fingering weight yarn and a brushed alpaca silk. So I really like the look of it. I thought it would be really cozy, and I do like the look of like some sort of like slight fuzziness in a sweater. So I'm excited to see how these look together. I haven't knit a swatch yet, but I think they'll look really good together. So the cinema sweater is like almost guaranteed that I'm gonna make it, but equally so, I have the yarn for the Biches Bûche number 59. It's like a big scarf, shawl, wrap sort of thing. That's totally my jam. I love oversized, big scarves. You know what? I don't think I like really actually wear them that much, but I love the look of them, and I love in this sort of weather that we're having now, where it's like below 10 degrees Celsius, but like above 0, and there's kind of like a warmer breeze coming. If I'm going outside, it might be nice to just put a shawl or like some sort of wrap over whatever I'm wearing instead of like a whole coat. So that's why I'm thinking this is a good spring pattern for me. I first saw this pattern, I think from Emma Robinson. Is that her name? Yes, Emma Robinson from Woolly Mammoth Fibers. I first saw this pattern from her, I think I think she made like a knitting inspiration video a while back, like maybe half a year back. And I think this is the first place that I saw this pattern. I saw it again from Knitting Traditions. Inga from Knitting Traditions, she actually made this pattern, and it looks so beautiful when she made it. So I've had it like on my mind for a while, and I was just waiting for a couple other projects to be finished up before I cast this on, because I do have the yarn for this pattern as well. More Drops brushed alpaca silk. I have a yellow, a red, and a green color. The yellow is color number 19, and I believe the name was Curry. The green is number 32, and the red is color number 34. This is not the yarn that's recommended in this pattern, the Biches Bûche pattern. The yarn that they recommend is the Biches Bûche Le Gros Silk and Mohair. And from what I remember from like looking at what this yarn is, it's like a thicker silk mohair than the traditional like lace weight silk mohair. So I thought maybe the brushed alpaca silk would be a good substitute. We'll see when I start making this. I might have to change like needle size to make the gauge look right, but I'm excited to try it out. I did choose colors that I thought were similar to the pattern photos, a dark green, a like deeper mustardy orange, and like kind of a rusty red color. I'm really happy with how these colors look, and I think they'll look good together, knit up in the whole pattern. Those two patterns, Cinema Sweater and Biches Bûche number 59, I think those are like almost guaranteed for me to make this spring. Because I don't know, I have the motivation to cast them on like now, and I already have the yarn. One thing that I really want to make, but I don't know if I have the yarn. I might have something that can work, but I don't know if I would have enough of it or if I would have to go out and buy yarn for it, is the Square Neck Camisole by Helene Beba. I first saw this pattern from Maria from Anything by Maria. And I think she's knit a few of these, and she like really raves about this pattern, saying that the fit is good. I believe it's also bra friendly, which I appreciate. I wanted something that I could wear as like a underlayer, I guess, under other clothes. I've been seeing a lot of like layered knits looks recently, and I really like the look of, yeah, having a tighter fitting knit tank top or t-shirt or something underneath, and then having an oversized knit sweater over top. So I am quite interested in this pattern. It's a ribbed camisole, so it has good, like, not suction, but not grip. Why can't I think of a word? Like it wants to like cinch in, I guess, which fits with what I'm going for, that it's like more tight fitting to the body. I like the detail of like, I feel like the edges look really clean and they're finished really nicely. And the designer describes this pattern as a versatile camisole with a soft, flattering square neckline and elegant decreases on the body. So it's not just straight down, like it tapers in, I guess, towards your waist. And as I suspected, the rib structure makes the top very stretchy so that it is flattering on all body shapes. It is knitted from the top down, which I appreciate because then I can try it on and stop where I want it to stop. And with the yarn, I don't have, it calls for fingering weight or light fingering yarn. Knitting for Olive Merino or Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino, Sandusgarn Sunday, that's the suggested yarn for it. I do not have any light fingering yarn. I have some fingering weight yarn. I have a lot of sport weight yarn. I'm wondering if I could maybe adapt this pattern for sport weight yarn, but I might want to just knit the pattern, like try it as it's intended to be for the first time. I could see this pattern being one that I knit like multiple times if I like it. And maybe for the first time, I should just knit it with a yarn that fits the like recommended or suggested yarn. And then if I like it, I might be able to adjust it for a sport weight yarn or whatever other yarns I have. I might be able to like figure something out to make it work with other yarns other times that I make it. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. I do have some Knitting for Olive Merino, but I have a sweater's quantity of it, and I don't know if I want to break that up. My local yarn store did just start carrying Knitting for Olive yarns, so this might be a good excuse to go to the yarn store and pick some up. A similar vibe, I guess, to the square neck camisole is any one of the ripple bralette variations that Jessie Made Designs has. I first heard about the ripple bralette and its variations from Martina from the channel We Grow Wild. She loves this pattern and has knit so many of them. I really like the look of it. It's clearly not bra friendly. I think it's supposed to replace a bra. So yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. So I think I might first try the square neck camisole. If I like that, maybe I'll try ripple bralette. I know they're technically different things, but I don't even know if I like kind of like tight fitting knitwear. So that one is also in my mind. Not as likely to happen as the square neck camisole, but it's in there. The last kind of like pretty much guaranteed that I'm gonna make, or like 90% sure that I'm gonna make, is the Lopi braided hat and mittens pattern by Haldora J. And this is just a pretty simple hat and mittens pattern. It has some cables on it. And the reason why I chose this pattern, why I want to make it, is for, well, I want to make it for my mom's birthday. I won't be able to make it in time. There's not enough time left. But the intention is to give it to my mom as a gift with some of the yarn, some of the Lopi yarn that I thrifted a few weeks ago. I have enough to make both the hat and the mittens, so I'd love to give her a matching set for her birthday. It says that it's a simple, quick, and easy knit, so I feel like this wouldn't be like a huge project to take on that would be like overwhelming or something. So maybe after I'm done my current projects, this might be the next one actually that I cast on because I have the yarn for it. The rest of the patterns that I'm going to mention are patterns that I don't have the yarn for, or like I have motivation to, but I don't know if I will actually have the time to, you know? So a few of these patterns are from the Sanus Garn booklet that I got last month. Specifically, I'm looking at the Jewel Skenser. I feel like this is a very spring looking knit, very like lightweight and airy, and I like the pastel color that the sample garment is made in. I also like, I really don't know how to say, I don't know how to say the name of these socks, but I really like this pair of socks. I like the little ruffle at the top. I've just finished a pair of socks that had a ruffle around it, the petite knit ruffle socks. I just finished that pair, but I really like the look of a ruffle on socks. And again, I feel like it's very spring, like it looks kind of like flower petals, I think. So I might want to try that. I looked at the pattern and I believe it's a toe up construction, which I've only tried one time and it went terrible. So I might want to try again to redeem myself. I also am working on a Musselburgh hat right now for my husband. If that goes well, I might want to make a matching one for my son during this season. So that's also on my radar. And finally, I have enough yarn to make the Cumulus Tee by Petite Knit. I have the yarn, but I don't think I have the motivation to make it. I feel like it's gonna take me a long time and I'm gonna get bored of it. So I'm including it in this list as like a, if I somehow finish all of these patterns and I'm like, well, what do I cast on now? It would probably be that, but it could also be a totally different pattern that I haven't even seen yet, and I get the motivation to knit. Most excited to knit the first three that I talked about: the Cinema Sweater, Biches Bûche number 59, and the Square Neck Camisole. I think actually the Square Neck Camisole, that's the one that I'm like most excited for. I don't know why. I think because, well, I've never made anything like it, and I'm excited to have like a proper like layering piece that I've knit. I feel like that list is realistic, right? 1, 2, 5 things that I'm like, I like for sure want to make. And then potentially another 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess another 5 things. I feel like the first 5, I feel like we're good. I feel like we can accomplish all of them in the next 3 months. Anyway, thanks for joining me for kind of like figuring out my spring knitting plans. I will have links to all of the patterns and all of the people that I mentioned down below. And If you have any spring knitting plans, please share them with me. I like getting inspiration from other people, and it's fun to see what everyone's working on. I hope you all have a great rest of your week and happy knitting. Bye-bye.